Welcome back, folks, to patch 1.6 on the common test server, and today we'll take a look at another hidden vehicle added in this patch, and that is the M48 Rom Panzer. It is a premium tier 8 German medium tank, basically a M48A1 with a 90mm and a dozer blade attachment for the hull front. So this vehicle served as a predecessor to engineering vehicles, which are basically tanks without a turret, and with stuff like dozer blades or cranes or dump truck-esque of a back to carry stuff or help build sandbags or bridges, you know the drill. So after taking a first look at the stats, it is supposed to be a crew trainer for the E50 series, more of a heavy medium tank-esque of a playstyle, but the initial stats are kinda bad. So premium tank, yes it is, but it kinda reminds me of a 59 Patton, so kinda garbage. So it has a crew of 4, kind of a downside if you're playing the E50 series, because you need a radio operator for the Panther II, for the E50, and the E50M. So okay, has a 90mm, it's basically a M48A1, doesn't get the Iridan Israeli's cupola from the M48A5, so this is a tumor of a cupola. It is pretty much universal for all American tanks. So it has a 50 caliber for the M1 cupola, but it's a tumor. So this is basically a stock pen, if you will, but it has a dozer blade acting as space armor. So that's kind of neat, I guess. It is a premium, I guess. Hopefully this is for bonds rather than for actual money, because it's kind of bad. So let's take a look at the bad stats. It has 205mm of pen, which is average for a tier A medium. Good penetration is about 220 to 230, so it is slowly creeping back to the original bottom of the barrel in terms of penetration. Alpha is also average, 240. DPM is basically 1832. That's bad. So originally this was average. When you crept to like 1600 DPM, that's totally terrible, but 1800 is still, below average. It's not the worst, but it's not great. It leaves a bad taste in the mouth. Also, accuracy is not favorable, 0.4. They did buff it. They also did buff the DPM from the initial super test version of this vehicle, but 0.4 is still garbage. For such a low caliber of a gun, that's terrible. Aim time is relatively okay, 1.9 seconds, 9 degrees of gun depression, similar to the 59 Patton, 19 elevation. Hull traverse is more of a fat medium or light heavy, medium heavy, so about 32 degrees per second. So firepower wise, it's it feels like the original Super Pershing gun, but yeah. Oh man, this is kind of terrible. Alright, let's take a look at the health. Health is actually quite chunky though, 1450. It's close to a heavy tank's health, but has 152mm of hull armor front and 254 for the turret front. But let's take a closer look at the actual values. So the dozer blade is actually space armor, of course, but lower plate is 127. Slope backwards with a 30mm dozer blade or shovel at the front, so giving you about 192mm effective against AP shells. Against APCR, it's about 200 to 220-ish. Alright. Does it stop high explosive anti-tank? Kinda, not really. It should be like bounce right now, but it's not. No. Well, there's a lot of space armor there. Holy shit. Well, if you have a high penetration, high explosive anti-tank shell, kinda seems to go through. What if I hit the tracks? Unless you hit the tracks or something, but what about here? 33% chance to pin, 62% chance to pin if you're above the penetration value. That's not good. That is not good. No, it doesn't really stop. It's not like a Super Pershing with double layers of space armor. It's just one dozer blade. Also take note that the turret is strong. Turret cheeks are 254, slope backwards. That's decent. And mantlet is very strong, so the covering on the mantlet will give you about 577. But there is a gigantic tumor on the turret. That's the M1 cupola. And this thing is pretty pervasive. It's like on the 59 patent, it's like it's on the, well, it's not exactly the M1 cupola on the AMX 30Bs, but holy shit, it's huge. That's why the original M48 patent wasn't that good, is because this cupola was so goddamn big. Side armor is 76 millimeters, so standard 2.7 inches or 3 inches. And for the turret, it's the same, so side armor is crap if you get shot. But then again, you could side scrape. It is sloped downwards slightly, so you could side scrape somewhat. But if they aim above the tracks, they're likely going to pin somewhere right here. But pocket heavy tank of a medium. Rear armor is crap. Don't even think about it. But it's only this cupola. If this cupola was like 250 millimeters effective, it would be a lot better, but no. Type 59, 59 patent, version number 2. So here is the horsepower per ton ratio, only 13. Ooh, that is steeping close to a slow heavy tank. It's a tongue twister. So only 650 horsepowers. Top speed of 40 kilometers per hour, reverse of 18. Hull traverse is only 36.5, so it is a slow medium. It is like a pseudo heavy, like a Carnarvon-ish in terms of mobility, but camouflage rating is crap for a medium, so don't expect to hide this thing. And view range is 380, which is crap. Radio range is 777, so lucky, but overall, this thing is crap. Guns accuracy sucks, guns DPM sucks, penetration is not that great, alpha is also not that great, hull armor is only good at the front in some areas, like mostly the cover for the dozer blades, but you still have a tumor at the turret front, and the tumor is huge. Oh man, so what if I have a very high penetration, high explosive anti-tank shell that has about like, let's say 250 millimeters of pin. So this is like a T-34-3's high explosive anti-tank shell. So it's about 125 millimeters. It's supposed to be 122, but whatever. It will pin the lower plate. Wow, this dozer blade doesn't stop crap. What the frick? We're supposed to stop high explosive anti-tank shells. Maybe it's the armor inspection thingy majig, but jeez. Shooting at the lower plate is 79% chance to pin. So it's only about 250 millimeters effective. It has a space armor, but if your gun's that high penetration, it will go through. Let me take a look at the armor comparison, just in case. So we'll take a look at the Super Pershing, because it's practically space armor all the way at the front. So preview this thing, and let's see if the consistency with the armor inspector is correct. So shooting at the lower plate on the Super Pershing, because it's double layered, if you cannot see it, it's double layered space armor. So shooting at the lower plate with the T-34-3 with your 122 that has about 250 millimeters of pin doesn't pin the lower plate because space armor, obviously. Same goes with the upper plate. That's why the Super Pershing is awesome, because double layers of space armor. So even though the shovel does help with the Rom Panzer, it doesn't help that much. And this thing doesn't have preferential matchmaking. You will see tier 10s. It's slow. It has a large tumor on the head. Alright, here are the initial stats from the super test, as well as the tanks.gg stats, the current stats. So as you can see, terrain resistance is above average, as well as dispersion, shooting on movement, but the shell price is cheap, so that's good. Has 255 millimeters of pen for the gold shell. It's APCR gold shell. What's good about this thing other than it weighs 50 tons? I guess that's good, but then again, you only have 13 horsepower per ton ratio, so that's bad. But you get a frozen yogurt. That's good. Oh man. Yeah. After taking a look at these stats, after taking a look at all the other stuff, freaking view range sucks. Guns average, below average even. Mobility is below average. Oh shit. What's good about this vehicle? The gun sucks, the mobility sucks. The armor is not that great, other than the turret front, but then again, there's so many hidden weak spots, or not exactly hidden, but you know, so many weak spots. Even though you have a dozer blade attachment to hide the lower plate, it doesn't help that much. So yeah, as you can see, DPM is pretty garbage. Alright, yeah, it's close to the Super Pershing, that's what I remember. And penetration is close to the Super Pershing, but the Super Pershing has one perk. It does not see tier 10s. So, and it has double layers of space armor, whereas you only have one dozer blade. Okay. Horsepower per ton ratio is slightly better than the Super Pershing. Let's take a look at the terrain resistance comparison with the Super Pershing. I'll take a look off screen right now, but where is the Super Persh? T26E4. So compare the stats of the terrain resistance. It has better terrain resistance than the Super Pershing. 0.77 compared to 1.15 for hard. 0.86 compared to 1.34 for medium. And 1.73 compared to 2.59 on the Super Pershing. So it has better terrain resistance by a lot, as well as horsepower per ton ratio, but the Super Pershing has view range, 10 more meters, as well as preferential matchmaking status. So, okay. Also, this thing has higher of a shell price than the Super Pershing. Surprising. Okay. Accuracy is also worse than the Super Pershing, and the DPM is slightly worse. So, I don't know. How do you... It's German Super Pershing, but it doesn't have the armor. You have a gigantic cupola. The Super Pershing's cupola is not that huge. As you can see, it's hidden behind the springs coil, and this one is very small. It has double layer. I don't know. I don't feel good about this thing. I mean, it could be available for bonds, and even though it's not exactly paying in terms of bonds if you're using bonds to buy it, but it still kind of sucks. So how much would I rate this thing out of 10? Like, for example, I would not drive this thing on front lines because you cannot shoot at anything, you cannot see anything, and you get shot at by pretty much everybody spamming gold shell. And you have a tumor to be shot at as well. It's a pretty large tumor. It is the ubiquitous M1 cupola, as you can see on almost every other freaking vehicles in the American tech tree. Like, it's not like exactly like that. Where's the M1 cupola? Basically the patent has it, but that's the original patent. They updated it with the Israelis' Iridan cupola right here, so that's why it's a lot better. It's a lot smaller and it's rounded. M1, oh yeah, on the light tanks. There's a bunch on the light tanks, such as the T92. Where's my T90? I don't have a T90. Oh, there it is. So it's just basically the same cupola as this thing, or basically the same cupola as this thing. So huge cupola, and I want to see the exact size comparison with this thing. Holy shit! Alright, how thick is your cupola? Oh fuck. Oh yeah, 81 millimeters. That's fucking awesome. Upper plate is about 170 millimeters effective. Lower plate is about 250, sloping downwards, obviously. But oh my god, that thing is huge. And also it has a stronger turret cheeks than the 59 patent. That's of course, but my god, this thing sucks. Why would you ever get one of this? It's so terrible. Jesus. So there you go, folks. The Rom Panzer. I mean, unless they buff this cupola to like 250 or at least 220, it's very mediocre, and I will give this vehicle about a 5 out of 10. Am I being too harsh? No. I mean, if this vehicle was fast, okay, that would be like a 7, but it's not fast. It doesn't have a good gun. It doesn't have view range. I mean, what could it do? Ram people? It's not fast enough to ram people with the shovel. 5 out of 10. 5 out of 10. It's F. I would be much rather paying for a vehicle like a engineering tank without the turret, but you give me a crane. So the whole purpose of this vehicle is you go up to somebody, sneak up to somebody, use the crane, and flip their vehicle over. That would be hilarious, but like you take no damage from getting shot at the front. So the dozer blade or the shovel absorb all damage, and what your purpose on the battlefield is, you drive sneakily onto a unexpected opponent, use your crane and turn them onto their sides or onto their heads and basically destroy them. But you have to do this very stealthily, and you have no weapons, you have no guns, so you can only utilize stealth and then flip other vehicles over. But then again, you can just basically troll your own teammates by doing the same stuff. That's too toxic. But there you go, folks. The Rom Panzer M48 patent for the Germans at tier 8. It is a premium, but holy crap, it sucks. 5 out of 10. But thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Country road.